صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين يا رحمة الله واسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الكريم في كتابه المبين وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The discussion of balance in Islam is one of the most important discussions in the religion. And the event of Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam on the 10th of Muharram, where he asked Zainab for a stick and a sword, is the most illustrative example of this discussion. On the 10th of Muharram, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says, "Ala hal min nasr?" Is there anyone to help me? No one responds. Imam al-Sajjad, the sick and the frail and the ill Imam that was present on the 10th of Muharram, tells his aunt Zainab, "Oh Zainab, give me a stick and a sword." Why the stick and why the sword? He tells her, the stick so I can stand, because I'm weak, and the sword so I can fight for my father, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. This event needs to be examined in light of the discussion of balance and the relationship between gas and brake. The relationship between yes and no. When do I show strength? When do I show softness? When do I get angry? When do I show mercy? There's some people, they have one emotion, always angry. He's known for anger. You remember, do you know this angry guy? Always angry. In the wedding, angry. In the funeral, angry. Always angry. You know these cartoon, there's each character represents a certain emotion. This is sad, this is angry, this is happy. This is not Islam. This is cartoons, exactly where it's meant to be. Alhamdulillah, it's in the right place. You put it in the right place this time. However, Islam isn't this way. Islam comes and says, be what? Be dynamic, be versatile, be adaptable. Wherever Rasulullah would go, people would think he's one of them. Sahib al-Zaman speaks all languages. So, the stick and the sword, this is what we want to discuss today. So let's dive right into it in the time that we have. Number one, what's the discussion of the stick? The stick in Arabic comes from the word asa. And asa is the same root word of disobedience. وَعَصَى آدَمُ رَبَّهُ. Adam disobeyed his Lord. The word here is asa. Why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or in language, is there a linguistic correlation here whereby a stick and disobedience can be intertwined? Absolutely. Why? Allah is saying that when authority and disobedience merge with one another, that's when problems tend to take place. When somebody is in power and also displays levels of disobedience to the norms, levels of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then now the pressure is on. Why? Because he isn't somebody who's qualified to be in a position of leadership. So for Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran to use this terminology of asa is quite ironic. These are opposites. Leadership and lack of qualification are opposites. But why did Allah keep it together? It's because sometimes you need to keep opposites together to remind yourself of the truth. Yes. Allah Azza wa Jal created for us a Shimr and a Hussein to show us the importance, and so that truth can stay alive forever. This contradiction, body and soul, Shimr and Hussein, black and white, good and evil. Wherever there was a Hussein, Allah wants you to know who the shimr is. And the greatest example is this term, وَعَصَى آدَمْ رَبَّهُ. Adam disobeys his Lord. And the same terminology for stick is therefore the same terminology as what? As disobedience. Now how about when it comes to the sword? This is something that a lot of Americans and a lot of Canadians and Westerners need to know. Is the word sword in the Quran? No. What's the closest mentioning of a sword in the Quran? The incident of Sulaiman. Dawood. وَلَيَنَّ الْحَدِيدَ لِدَاوُود. Allah says, we softened the iron for Dawood. Dawood would sit and he would be able to make shields. He would be able to make swords. This is the closest mentioning that we have of what? Of indeed swords within the Quran. But a sword, what's the representation of a sword? A sword is authority. I'm sorry, a sword, yes, it's authority, but proactive authority. To defend your authority. The stick represents authority. Who had the stick? Musa alayhi salam. In the Quran, when you speak of a stick, you're speaking of Musa. Who else had a stick? Shu'aib. Shu'aib had this stick. Keep in mind that that famous stick of Musa was something that all prophets had. Adam, and that stick carried on. That when Shu'aib told Musa that I will now hire you, yes, after Safura and the two females, daughters of Shu'aib came back from the well, Musa helps them with the bucket of water. He tells them, how did you come back so soon? Typically it takes you a longer time. They said that there was somebody who came and assisted us. We know he is qawi and he is ameen. He's strong and trustworthy. How do you know he's strong? How do you know he's trustworthy? He's trustworthy because once he was carrying the bucket with us coming back home, he decided that he will stand in front of us. And he told us to pelt the stones in the left and the right, telling me where I should go. How do you know he's strong? Oh, Father, he picked up a bucket which no men were able to pick up. 10, 20 men would pick up one bucket. Musa alayhi salam, because Musa, where did he grow up? Musa salamullahi alayhi, he grew up close to royalty. He grew up in the laps of Fir'aun alayhi al-la'na wal-adab. Now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the example of, for example, Musa, yes, what happens? Musa goes into the room. He tells him, go and get a stick so that you can now be a shepherd under my command. Musa goes into the room and there are a number of sticks. He didn't go to any stick. The stick came directly from the shelf into his hand. What is Allah saying? Allah saying, I choose who becomes Khalifa. Wallahi, people, all I need to do is go read the story of Musa. I choose who's going to become Nabi. I choose who's going to become Imam. I choose who's going to become Amir al-Mu'mineen. Not every time Dick and Harry today is Amir al-Mu'mineen. No. That's why I say, yes, Ali ibn Abi Talib didn't choose Khalifa. Khalifa chose Ali ibn Abi Talib. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he says, Khilafah was a shirt. It only fit on me. He says this. صلوا على محمد وعلى
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
They tried to rip the shirt. They tried to fit the shirt. Do you know what they ended up doing? The shirt ripped. Look at Islam today. It's a ripped clothing. Sunni and Shia. The people they love, we hate. The people they hate. At the end of the day, what do we see? Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam told them, don't fight. Don't go against the size of the clothing. Otherwise, later on in history will be saying, Kunna umma wa kuntum umma. You were a nation and we were a nation. Imam gave himself. He separated his limbs to keep the ummah tight stitched together. That's what Imam Hussein alayhi salam did at the end of the day. So Musa, the stick came to him. Yes. So when you speak of the stick, it represents authority. The sword represents defending your authority. There is nowhere in this world where you can have something special and just sit in your house and expect to keep it. People are going to want it. People are going to shed blood to keep it. Look at Khilafah. Look at, for example, legitimacy. Look at land. Look at wars that have taken place in the world today. If you have something valuable, it's a law and a principle and philosophy in this dunya that people are going to want it. And that's why it's vital for Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam. What did he show? He asked Zainab not only for a stick, but he asked her for a sword as well. And that's why, what does this show us? This shows us indeed that Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam was a man who strove to complete the shot. There's a complete shot. There's half pictures, which people, Ismailis, they have a half picture. There's, for example, even Alawis, half picture. Zaydis, half picture. One person stopped with Imam al-Kadhim. One person stopped with Zayd al-Shaheed, son of Imam al-Sajjad. Many people throughout history stopped. Or some people went too far. You have certain people, yes, today, they have 48 Imams. Alhamdulillah, the Imam is still growing for them. The number 12 is perfect. Why? Because the sons of Jacob with Musa, 12. The disciples of Jesus, 12. The Imams under Muhammad, 12 as well. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I am the Lord of Musa, I am the Lord of Isa, and I am also the Lord of Muhammad. You cannot go to heaven if you don't believe in Jesus. Ya Ahl al-Alam, O people of the world, come and hear what we're giving on our mimbar. This mimbar which has been here for 1400 years. Wallah, you have to believe that this is the defender of Jesus right here. This pulpit. This is the defender of Moses. I can't enter heaven if I don't believe in you. But you go to heaven if you see me as a disbeliever. They believe we're going to hell if we don't believe Jesus was crucified on the cross. Whose democracy now are we truly speaking about? Who's democratic? Us or them? So completion of what? The full picture. Why do we know this? Because Imam al-Sajjad directly submitted to the commands of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He sacrificed his own desire for the religion. Imam al-Hussein then would turn to who? He would turn to Zainab. He would say, pull back Imam al-Sajjad, lest the lineage of Imamat will be severed. Imam al-Sajjad submits. And this discussion of submission is imperative in the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Malik al-Ashtar reaches the tents of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan and Saffin. Malik al-Ashtar, what is Ashtar? Ashtar means one eye, by the way. One of his eyes were broken in I believe in Jabal, or in one of the battles with Malik al-Ashtar. There are also many other people in history who are known as Ashtar. But Ashtar means to have one eye. Malik Ashtar, who Rasulullah or Amir al-Mu'mineen comes in and says, Malik is to me as I was to Rasulullah. He says, Malik wama Malik. You know when you say Laylatul Qadri, wama adraka, what is this wama? When Allah says, what is this? He's not asking, what is it? Allah knows, but He's trying to get your attention to it, to show you how important it is. It is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He show us? He shows us that Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, when indeed he submitted to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, like that of Malik, when Malik reaches the tents, he's about to kill Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Muawiyah, you're speaking about the head of the snake. The head of the poisonous enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Imam Malik comes to the tents, his sword is inches away from the neck of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. With one blow, he can cut the head and sever the head of Muawiyah. Just go read about Muawiyah and the disgusting nature that he had, the hypocritic professionalism that he had. He reaches it, he hears the voice of Ali ibn Abi Talib, tells him, Malik, come back! Malik, it's time to come back. Now you have to come back. He tells him, Ya Ali, my sword is inches away from the neck of the head of the snake, the head of hypocrisy. He tells him, Irja' ya Malik, come back. What does he do? Does he ignore the Imam? Does he say, no, I will make a name for myself in history. I have nothing to do with the religion of you. I've come so far now, I don't need you anymore. No, he puts the sword humbly back into the cover, and he sheaths his sword, and he goes back to the tents to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Submission. The submission of Malik to Ali is like the submission of Imam al-Sajjad or vice versa towards Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salam alayhi.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
What was the Imam showing? There's a discussion of completion. وَلَّمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. Allah tells Rasulullah in the event of Ghadir on the 18th of Dhul Hijjah. These dates are very, very important. 18th of Dhul Hijjah. He tells him, Ya Rasulullah, establish them that Ali is the Mawla of the Mu'mineen. If you don't do it, then the 23 years of your nubuwwah, Ya Rasulullah, all go in the bin. Subhanallah. If you don't do it, you have not given the message at all. وَلَّمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ وَاللَّهُ يَحْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. There's a discussion of completion here. Imam Sajjad understood there's a complete shot. Because Musa, we are told, or Imam al-Hussein, when he left Medina, going towards Karbala, he had the fear of Musa once he entered Medina. Quran comes and speaks about the level of fear that Musa had, because you can consider he had no help. He was a majority against a minority. At one level he had to kill someone. فَوَكَزَهُ مُوسَى فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ. He said, this is from my enemy, this is from my friends. He was able to distinguish, alhamdulillah. He knew who was with him, who was against him. He killed somebody, he what? At this level, there's a majority against him. People are out to get him. People spread the news that there's a killer amongst us by the name of Musa. So therefore, Imam al-Hussein in poetry, we are told, he entered Medina with the same level of fear of Musa. So Hussein entered Karbala with the fear of Musa. But who completed the picture? Imam al-Sajjad completed it by showing the strength of Musa. Vital line. Imam al-Hussein enters with the fear of Musa. But Imam al-Sajjad completed the picture by having and displaying the levels of strength of Musa by asking for the stick. Why did he ask for the stick? He's completing the strength of Musa. And that's why Karbala was nubuwwah manifested. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Musa. I'm not far away, I'm not making things up. Inheritor of Musa, waritha Isa, waritha Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So completion is very important. Why? Because it shows to you that you're serious. People who don't complete the picture have showed to us that either they got conceited somewhere down the road, or they got interested in the means more than the ends, or something happened. People who start strongly and later on start to plummet, later on start to die out, their passion tends to simmer down. They start with passion. I'm going to do this. I'm never going to give up. I will never get tired. I'll continue to fight and to produce and to serve. Just give them 3-4 years, you say, this is the same guy who had that level of passion. Why? Because they didn't have this image of completing. They weren't serious. Now, were there negative people and evil people who had seriousness? Yes. Zulaykha had a high level of seriousness when she tried to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam. You know what she would do? Now, she was serious but ignorant, but she was serious. You notice that okay, she ends up covering the idols with a scarf. She puts a scarf on the idol before she's about to do the haram act with Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf tells her, what are you doing? She says, I'm covering my God. I don't want Allah to see me while I do the haram act. Right? This was the level of ignorance that she had. But she was serious. She really gave it a shot to seduce the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I don't blame her. When you really look at how he looks like, subhanAllah, he looks like a piece of art. Yusuf alayhi salam, the beauty of Yusuf. The seriousness of Zulaykha. What else? Today you have in schools, also professors have seriousness. That professor who studied 20 years and he's not even a Muslim, but to teach Islamic studies, that's a level of dedication. But he has an earring over here, and subhanAllah, he's homosexual, and he speaks completely incorrect facts, and I'm just sitting there in class and I'm like, this is adab, wallahi, this is Jahannam. If Jahannam is like this, then I'd rather go to Jahannam. Because the incorrect status which they have about Islam is unbelievable. That the Prophet supported slavery, and Islam isn't a religion which supports miracles, and of course that Islam is the youngest of religions. All of these things, what do they tell us? It's all incorrect. But there's a level of seriousness. There's seriousness there. Where else was there seriousness? Ibn Taymiyyah also had seriousness. Ibn Taymiyyah, when our alim, who was known as Al-Mutahhar, one of our famous ulama, he would correspond with him back and forth for a certain time in history. The letters are available, you can read them. He would send him, a point where you tell him, Ibn al-Mutahhar. His name is al-Mutahhar, the purified. Do you know how he would refer to him? Ibn al-Munajjis. Oh, the son of the impure. Now this is a level of serious when Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah comes and makes these kinds of lines. What do we see? We see that they had seriousness, but seriousness wasn't so powerful for them at the end of the day. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, to complete it and to sacrifice his own honor and opportunity, because Ahlul Bayt yearned towards Shahada. Ahlul Bayt were hungry for showing who they were. Ana al-Husayn ibn Ali, Ana al-Abbas, Ana al-Qasim ibn al-Hasan. Always, you notice, they were proud of their presence. They were happy to go into gatherings. They wanted to show their face. They didn't have this level of embarrassment, hiding from the people. At one point, you see people that are very different. No, the style of Islam is, here I am, this is me, I can help you. Yes, that's the style of Islam. Bravery, confidence, uncompromising nature of Al Muhammad. There was a level of seriousness within the minds of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Why? Because their intention met their qualification. And this is a vital line. Sometimes there are people who have a good intention, but they're just not capable. He doesn't know the right way to do things. I know this one guy, he had the right intention, and he would be praying. While he's praying, he sees a mouse pass by. He says, I feel bad for this mouse. This is a true story, by the way, based on true event. He says, I see this mouse right here, I feel bad. Why? Because I'm praying, this mouse isn't praying, so I'm going to put this mouse in my turban. For 7 years he prays with the mouse inside of his turban. Now, of course, all of his salah wasn't accepted. Because if no alim has told you, let me be the first one, you cannot pray with a mouse in your turban. Can't happen. Can you? You cannot. A mouse in the turban? Unacceptable. Why? Because number one, is dead. Number two, yes, after 7, I don't know what kind of mouse lives for 7 years. Meat and so on and so forth. And a number of things. Najasa, it's an animal, you cannot eat it, and therefore it's an impure animal. Of course, all of it. He had sincerity. Is sincerity enough? People say, I'm sincere. Now I really want to help. Doesn't mean you're capable of doing it. You need to be realistic with what you're really being, truly. Imams, what happened? Okay? They had a level of sincerity which met capability. This is a vital line. If you have the sincerity of Islam and also the capability of Islam, then that's when you're qualified of going onto the field and fighting. Otherwise, stay behind and do something else. Because we know there is a circle in Islam. There's a circle. You might be inside of the circle. You might have to be a defender of the circle. Habib ibn Mubahir wasn't an imam. Those who defended Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam while he was praying on the 10th of Muharram. Imam finishes his salah. He finishes his salah. And he sees his chest of those who were protecting him filled with arrows. That was their duty. Maybe some people have to defend the circle. Maybe others will be inside of the circle. We don't know. But you have to submit to the position. Sakina played the best role of a daughter of Imam al-Husayn. She didn't go outside of her parameters. She stayed in her lane, and she was the best what? She was the best competitor in that field. So this is a vital piece of information. Seriousness complemented by... sincerity complemented by, indeed, qualification. And that's why many people would ask the question, well, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, could you really mean that it was this important what he has done? Just one simple act, one move, and it creates a law? Yes. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, one movement of theirs would create a law. One simple act